Hi again, friends. Welcome to my weekly episode, All Things Selling, Flipping Online. Normally, I take you yard sailing with me and I show you the things that I find, the eBay sold prices along the way. This week, I thought it was better to give you an update on my reselling journey. I started full time February 1st, so it's been about 7 or 8 months, and I thought it was a good week actually because I think I had my biggest week ever. I wanted to give you a few highlights, also tell you about a few things additional things I've learned about this journey and things that maybe I've pivoted on. First of all, though, I decided I take a few trips a year, and when I go out of town, I thought, fine, I will keep my store on. There's a prominent banner on your landing page that says the seller's away. You can expect a delay in shipping. Well, at least 50%, at least in my experience, you'll have to tell me yours, but most people, 50%, I would say, do not notice that banner, and they think that you're ignoring them, that you're not sending the merchandise out in a timely manner. So the second time I went out of town, I just turned my store off. Now, obviously, you're not selling anything, and this income from me selling online is largely supplementary to our household. Hopefully, I won't have to keep my store on when I'm out of town. But for me, the subsequent times I went out of town, I turned my store off. So let me know what your experience has been, but I'm just amazed how many people do not notice that prominent banner on your landing page. So this last trip, I was gone for about 2.5 weeks. I was anxious to get back. We ironically had trouble with our truck on the way back. We have a huge repair bill, and so I was very anxious to get back to sales. And isn't it ironic that I think I had my biggest week? I sold almost over $1,900 in sales just on eBay. And I wanted to give you a few highlights. I am always looking to keep learning about collectibles I might not know about. In the case of some dolls I sold, and also this cow parade collectible. I knew nothing about either of the collectibles, but I've gotten really quick at doing comps at yard sales, and you can see what I sold them for. I'm amazed at what these things brought. Ironically, the cow parade collectible, all of them were new in the box at this sale, and so I didn't really open them up I just quickly looked at them. But when I went to list this one in particular, I noticed that the little ear had been glued back on. So I was wondering, oh my gosh, am I still going to be able to sell it? Well, it turns out that it's so rare that it's still sold. The pair sold for, I think it was $350, but it's still sold because it was that rare. I did message the buyer, and just to double check that she had read the entire description, it's going to Australia. I also sold a big flatware set that my sister actually had found. She is my fellow treasure hunter. She is great. When she can go, she will hunt for treasures for me as well. So I don't have any video of that. I think she paid $20 or $30 for the set, and it was actually really beat up, but it's mid-century modern. People love that Danish flatware, and you can see how well it sold as well. And I also started listing the first of the Barbie clothes and accessories, and I sold just one tiny little belt for $25. I've got quite a bit of work to list all of it, and I will be doing it this subsequent week, but I part it out. I will put some outfits together, but you can make such good money on the little purses and the little shoes separately, and even the tops, the hats. I will mostly part it out. So watch for those sales, but keep in mind, just that little belt sold for $25. And you guys, one of my favorite things to sell, as you know, are skin products, fragrances. This particular fragrance sold for $120. anything that is discontinued and designer, and in this case, I also sold 2 discontinued Ralph Lauren scents that I actually got out of town in Denver. I am always hunting for these things because since they're discontinued, they make really good money. But the Picasso set really surprised me because it was somewhat opened. The shrink wrap was broken on it, but $120, I think I paid $5 or $6 for it. So keep your eyes open for the designer fragrances and skin products. And I also sold 2 faucets. Now, one made $150, the other sold for $80. I paid $40 for each of them. I've kind of committed to not spend that kind of money on inventory anymore. Mainly if it's a bigger item, they're kind of a pain to ship. I don't know if you would do it, but like I said, I paid $40 for each, and they sold quickly, but the storage, the packing and the shipping, I don't know. I don't know if you would do it. Let me know if you would, but I'm not complaining about the profit. So I just might not spend that kind of money going forward. You'll also notice that I sold another pair of shoes and 2 more purses, or one was like a bag suitcase that I got from that one yard sale where purses were $1 and $2. All shoes were 50 cents. I continue to sell that kind of inventory. What is better than that when you can buy things in bulk and they just continue to sell? As for other updates on my journey, I watched a really good video the other day by Phoenix Sales 85. It's one of his more recent videos, and it's addressing the controversy, if you want to call that, about so many resellers thinking other resellers are ruining it for them. And on the contrary, I have, since February, I've mentored a few people, and I might stop doing that because I love to help people. I love to have people draw on my experience and get people excited about selling online. But what I found is all the people that I have mentored, only one has really listened, and that's fine, that's their choice. But if you're going to ask for help from me and try to draw on my experience but not listen, then it really seems like a waste of time. For instance, one of them, they would tell me about everything they bought just because they liked it, they thought it was cute, rather than do they even know it sells. And to me, that's really basic. So I might not do that anymore just because it seems like a waste of time, but we'll see. So I don't see other resellers ruining it for others, because what this really takes still is hustle and discipline, getting up at 6 a.m. and being the first one there. And it takes an eye for what will sell. And if you don't have that eye, you need to study what will sell, or this will just be a hobby. So that's at least my experience, and I love to help people again, but I like to make it worthwhile for both of us. I haven't made many changes in terms of how I sell, except for maybe 2 things perhaps. One being that I've settled down, I think, a little about worrying whether things will sell. For instance, there are some things I have bought in bulk, like I bought a whole bunch of shoes and purses, and they just slowly keep selling. If I've done the comps and I know the item does sell, they will eventually sell. So that has been a great improvement in terms of just my confidence in selling. And the other thing would be that my goal was 500 items in inventory. It took longer than I thought it would to reach that goal, but I passed that a few months ago. Now I'm at about 650, but the more you sell, the more you need to list. And ultimately, I would love to get to 1,000 items, but it is pretty challenging. But that has been a pretty big increase in my inventory. And ideally, I would like to be at 1,000 items before the end of the year. So we'll see if I get there. That's all for this week, but join me again next week for my weekly episode where I take you yard sailing with me and show you actual eBay sold prices along the way. So please follow me for more tips, flips, and profits. I'll see you next time.